Welcome back to our AP Chemistry Pre-Lab series. This is lab number 15. We're going to be focusing on acids and bases this time. Now, this is actually a lab that you performed in a very similar manner in Chem 2. We're just kind of expanding on it for AP Chem. Sometimes I like to, just bring labs down to get you guys a little more experience in Chem 2, but you're essentially going to be performing a series of two titrations and analyzing the different graphs that are produced from a strong acid, strong base titration and a weak acid, strong base titration. So we're going to be looking at different parts of the graph. We're going to be looking at where the equivalence point is located for each part of the graph in terms of its pH and in terms of how much base is going to be added. So lots of different things to go through and take a look at, but you guys have done enough titrations to know how to get all this set up, how to prepare everything, and how to appropriately do a titration. For part one, you're going to place 8 milliliters of HCl solution in a 250 milliliter beaker, along with 50 milliliters of distilled water. Add 3 drops of phenolphthalein. Rinse and prepare a 50 milliliter burette with 0.1 molar NaOH solution. You're going to use a pH probe, and we're going to record the pH about every half a milliliter of base that's added. Uh, Again, just to give us a good solid graph that we can go through and analyze. We want to try to make this look as nice as possible. So make sure that the pH reading stabilizes before you go through and collect it. We'll be utilizing the Vernier software for all of this. Again, we should be pretty familiar with how to go through and get that set up, at least at this point in time. And then you're going to continue to record this data until the pH stabilizes, which would be around 11 or 12. And then you're going to repeat the exact same procedure, but instead of using 0.1 molar HCl, we'll be using 0.1 molar acetic acid for our weak acid titration. So at the very end here, what are we trying to consider? Well, we should consider the amount of base needed to reach the equivalence point for both titrations. Analyze the difference in the two graphs that are provided. Does one look different than the other? Why might one graph look different than the other? Does the color change occur exactly at the equivalence point? Why or why not? Would an indicator that changes at a pH that is different from the equivalence point be acceptable? Why or why not? So really take a close look at the graphs. Take a look at when the color changes. I think it'll give you a little bit better idea of equivalence point titration versus endpoint of a titration. And just spend a little time thinking about it. All right, that's all I've got for you today. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you very soon in lab. Thank you.